No one expected the storm to break this quickly. Yet tonight, across Britain's political landscape, a strange and unsettling shift is unfolding. A Prime Minister caught between collapsing confidence and collapsing promises. A Chancellor accused of lies, panic, and shaping a budget many call one of the worst in modern history. And a country quietly asking, what is really going on inside Number 10? Because behind closed doors, something has snapped. And the cracks are widening faster than anyone predicted. Before we dive deeper into this explosive story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling us your thoughts. Your interaction is what pushes these investigations to more viewers, and the most engaging comments will be featured in upcoming videos. The chaos erupted live on Sky News, a moment so fierce, so unexpected, that even seasoned political reporters were left stunned. Sir Keir Starmer, the man who promised calm leadership, found himself publicly torn apart by Conservative frontbencher Alex Burghart. And Burghart didn't hold back for even a heartbeat. "I think this is pure panic," he declared. A desperate attempt to regain footing after a disastrous budget that fell apart over the weekend. Then came the line that electrified Westminster. "There are accusations the Chancellor lied to the country. Lied to the markets." A political earthquake, broadcast live. Because this wasn't just about numbers. This was about trust collapsing in real time. The accusation centered on Chancellor Rachel Reeves, a woman now trapped at the heart of a storm. Critics say her numbers don't add up. Her message doesn't add up. And her explanations are only making things worse. Just days before the budget, Reeves held a confident pre-budget briefing on November 4th, speaking about productivity, spreadsheets, calculations, and the tough trade-offs Britain must endure. But what she didn't mention was devastating. Tax receipts were far higher than expected, and more than made up for the drop in productivity. Yet she still told the country her fiscal headroom had evaporated. She insisted the Office for Budget Responsibility made everything clear, and claimed she had been upfront. But her political opponents saw something else entirely. Keir Badenoch, now leader of the Conservatives, sharpened the blade. She said Reeves should resign. She said the Chancellor had misled the public. She said Reeves had created a smokescreen to justify tax rises. And when Reeves went on BBC One Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg, she refused to accept she had misled anyone. But Badenoch wasn't having it. Not for a second. At the centre of it all stood Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. A man trying to rescue both his Chancellor and himself. His message was a paradox. A contradiction. Almost a confession. One moment, he told Britain they'd walked through the narrowest part of the tunnel and better days were coming. The next, he warned of many more hard decisions that are not easy and not cost-free. Two opposite visions. Delivered in the same breath. It was the clearest sign yet of the deep confusion at the heart of Labour's economic message. And the public noticed. Weeks of warnings about a huge financial black hole, a black hole the government now admits didn't exist. A budget shocking enough to spark rebellion. Now a scandal over whether Reeves and Starmer misled the entire country. All while the economy limps forward at some of the weakest forecasts in Europe. The OBR predicts 1.4% growth next year. 1.5% growth annually through to 2031. Even if Britain beats these numbers, it will still perform worse than during the decade of Conservative austerity. And business leaders? They are furious. They blame Labour's decisions, from national insurance hikes to repeated minimum wage increases, for pushing Britain into the highest inflation rate in major European economies. While Starmer and Reeves fought off accusations of dishonesty and incompetence. Another shockwave hit working people. The government announced it will scrap the flat-rate working-from-home tax relief, a lifeline used by around 300,000 people. Starting April 2026, the £6 per week allowance disappears, replaced by a bureaucratic maze requiring receipts and proof of every tiny expense. Basic rate taxpayers will pay £62 more per year. Higher earners will pay £124 more per year. Critics were furious. Kate Underwood warned that workers forced to operate from spare rooms or makeshift home offices were being punished. From April 2026, this hits for 6 people who have no office to go to or need adaptations just to work, she said. David Sterling mocked the new rules. Home workers will need to provide receipts, proving they boiled the kettle. Colette Mason called the policy spectacularly short-sighted, warning that businesses might turn to automation rather than deal with the new bureaucracy. And Samuel Mather-Holgate pleaded for a carve-out to protect disabled workers. Meanwhile, Reeves confirmed a 4.1% rise in the national living wage, increasing hourly pay from £12.21 to £12.71 from April 2026, a move welcomed by some, condemned by others. After years of avoiding the topic, Starmer suddenly blamed Brexit for Britain's economic scars. He said Boris Johnson's deal significantly hurt our economy and called for a closer relationship with the EU. Even though the government's own analysis shows an Agriford deal would boost GDP by only 0.14%. Businesses say current inflation is driven more by Labour's policies than Brexit. For some critics, Starmer's new approach sounds less like leadership and more like searching for a convenient scapegoat. Sir Keir vowed to slash regulations he says are choking Britain's growth, especially in construction and energy. He blasted gold plating, unnecessary red tape, misguided environmental rules. Yet the same government is increasing business burdens through the Employment Rights Bill and raising employer costs through NI and minimum wage increases. Even as Starmer speaks of speeding up planning, he extends EU environmental protections judges said he didn't need to keep. 2 pathways. 2 messages. No clear direction. A government at war with itself. The deeper you go into this story, the darker it becomes. A Prime Minister struggling to sound confident while warning of hardship. A Chancellor trapped in accusations of dishonesty. A budget unravelling faster than anyone imagined. Workers facing new taxes, higher costs, and more bureaucracy. And a government asking Britain to trust them, while giving them every reason to hesitate. Something is shifting in the heart of Downing Street. Something even Labour's inner circle can no longer hide. So now the question echoes across the country. Is this simply turbulence, or the beginning of a political collapse? Are Starmer and Reeves steering Britain toward renewal, or deeper into uncertainty? Tell us what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in this unfolding storm. Because whatever happens next, it will shape Britain in ways no one is prepared for. And this story is far from over.